What's going on, everybody? Listen, we got some bad news. Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Schofield is off. I brought it up briefly just now in my breakdown with Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois. It's not much information out there. The Ring magazine announced it first. All right, they said that Floyd Schofield has fallen ill. Okay, and the fight is off between him and Shakur Stevenson. Their team, Shakur Stevenson, is actually looking for the replacement opponent. Josh Padley's name is coming up right now. Okay, he's the one that just beat Mark Chamberlain not too long ago. He outboxed him, and it was a big upset at the time. Mark Chamberlain was, one of the prospects coming up, British fighters coming up at 135, and Padley beat him to a points decision. Look, man, I'm not gonna keep this long, because I didn't really do much talking about the whole Schofield and all the allegations that was coming up against Shakur Stevenson from their side, him and his dad, all the conspiracies, as far as PDs and snack and everything. I didn't keep up with that because it's just too much. It was a lot of stuff that was being said from Team Schofield trying to discredit Shakur Stevenson and his integrity and stuff for the sport. I don't know how much truth is behind all of that stuff. One video he was saying that he was just trolling. Listen, I don't know. I don't know. Like a lot of these fighters now, I don't know if he's going to Ryan Garcia fight leading up to Devin Haney, where he's just being active, saying all these crazy stuff on the internet, interviews. I really don't know. He's telling a bunch of stories, him and his dad's, about what the other team was doing and everything they was doing in order to get in the way of the training and preparation for Team Schofield, right? I didn't make any content on it, but there's a lot of stuff that went down. What I will say is this. Me personally, I wasn't too sure how confident they were going into this fight. I just wasn't sure. I know when it came to Shakur, the only thing he kept really saying is that I hope they don't catch cold feet and I hope they show up on the night of the fight. Shakur kind of called it. He was basically saying, like, I don't think they really want to come and fight, and that was the one thing he was saying. I think, I heard him talk about their sparring session, and, Team Schofield also talked about their sparring section in the past. And basically Shakur got the better of him in the sparring. But, forget all of that. I don't care about sparring stories. I wanted to see the fight. It was actually one of the better fights on the card. I didn't think it was a 50-50 fight, but it was a good fight to me because I don't particularly think that all of these fighters got to wait to beat a bunch of guys to get a title shot. Schofield was ranked high. Has he fought anyone on the elite level yet? No. This is the only division he's been in. He's younger than Shakur. But I still seen his fight. I've been watching him for a while. I think he has talent. He's explosive. He could switch. I like the fight because he was young, undefeated, hungry. And I thought it was a good matchup. I don't think it was the most, 50-50 fight on the card. I think there's fights like Ortiz and Machimov, which is a little harder for me to predict. Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois, and then also the main event, of course, between Beterbiev and Bivol rematch. So I think some of those fights were a little bit more harder for me to call, being that Shakur has already proven he's done things in three different divisions, and even if you want to see him fight a Tank Davis or a Lomachenko or Cepeda or Frank or whoever else is in the division, no, he didn't fight some of those guys, some of those big names in the division, but he's still more proven and decorated and has way more experience than Floyd Schofield. But I still wanted to see this fight. And I'm very disappointed. I know a lot of American fans, a lot of fans of Shakur, and even a lot of fans of Schofield wanted to see this fight. It was a good fight on a perfect card. And the reason why I don't want to talk long about it is because this still is a great card. Shakur will still fight. Josh Padley is not a name that stands out. People that discredit Shakur now, they're going to keep doing it, especially after seeing this fight. Even if he beats Padley, which he should, no one's going to give him credit. But at this point, it's clear that a lot of fighters really don't want to fight him at this point. No one's really going out their way to fight Shakur, and they're all saying the same thing, like he's boring and stuff like that. At the end of the day, no one really wants to fight him, and it's unfortunate. And I feel bad for him because I know he's trained and prepared. And so did Schofield. Like, look, I don't know if Schofield is really ill or not. I can sit here and tell you, like, oh, this was all planned from the beginning. This stuff with this cream and, all these rumors that's coming out on why he pulled out of the fight. Listen, all I know is that if he is really ill, I don't want him to fight sick and then complain about he's sick after he loses. Because most likely he was going to lose this fight. I wouldn't want him to complain after the fact. What I don't want, because that's what happened with Shakur. All right, when he fought De Los Santos, he went out and said, "Oh, I injured my hand during the fight or before the fight. I basically fought with one hand," which it looked like he did. But no one cared. Everybody cared about the performance and how boring the fight was, and everybody went on the internet and trashed him. So what I don't want is Schofield to go in there and not be 100%, lose a fight, and then start complaining about how sick he was, because everything he's saying now about why he's sick is what they would have said if he had lost the fight. You get what I'm saying? I mean, they're saying a lot of stuff now before the fight. It's like Glovegate with Fury and Wilder, but it's before the fight. Like, all of these things are happening to make me lose this fight or make me lack preparation or whatever. All of this stuff, all these excuses is coming before the fight. You think there wasn't going to be any excuses if he lost after the fight? Absolutely, there would be. So moving forward, again, I don't know if he's ill or not, but if he is ill, I hope he gets better. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be bad. He's gonna get ripped online, It doesn't matter what the Schofield say; they're gonna get ripped online for a while. He's gonna lose a lot of credibility, and it's gonna be harder for him to get a fight. Maybe not. Maybe in his very next fight, maybe he'll fight somebody critical. You never know. It might be William Cepeda in his next fight. You know what I mean? I don't know who his next opponent will be, but he's gonna lose a lot of credibility with this this sickness and pulling out of this fight, especially with the amount of talking they did. Especially because Shakur predicted that this may happen. Remember, Floyd Schofield didn't go to the original press conference. He didn't show up. He was the only one that wasn't there. And not for nothing, but out of these big fights here, he's the least proven fighter on the card. Still a good fight, but he is the least proven. Everyone on the card had at least beaten a top fighter in the division at some point. And he's the only one that hasn't. But he looks like a top guy at 135. He looks like that. But he's going to get crushed. And he's going to get crushed, and he better be prepared to take it. He's going to get crushed all the way until he beats someone with a name, And that's what he needs to focus on. Your health, take the time off, get better, and get back in the ring at some point and prove that you are a legitimate fighter at 135, that you are a credible fighter. But right now, you're going to get crushed. They're going to destroy you on the internet, social media, all the other fighters. You're going to get crushed. This is the kind of thing that happens until your next fight or until your next good performance. So be ready for it. That's all I got to say. It's still a very great card. It doesn't change anything. I'm still going to get to see Shakur fight. But then, to be honest, I wanted to see Shakur fight a few other fighters before fighting Floyd Schofield. But it still was a very, very good fight. I couldn't wait to see it. I was already preparing to break it down. But I didn't get to it, right? I'm actually currently watching film study for Virgil Ortiz and Israel Matrio. So that's the next one. Shakur was going to be after. All right, but it is what it is. We're not going to stop what we're doing. There's too many good things that's happening. There's too many good fights that's made. This is still an excellent card. And we're not going to let this stop us from, we're going to talk about it today. Probably going to talk about it tomorrow. Whenever we find out the opponent for Shakur, we'll talk about that. I doubt I'd do a full breakdown of his replacement opponent. But we're still going to enjoy the fight Saturday. We'll be here Saturday. We're going to have a great time Saturday. Do not let this bum you out, especially if you're a big Shakur fan or a big Schofield fan. We're still going to get great boxing on Saturday, all right? And that's it. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to make more videos about different conspiracies and stuff. I'm not doing that. I don't have the time for that. We're going to talk about the fights that's going down, and not the fights and all the talk like this mess. All right, so we'll be here Saturday. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Hit the thumbs up on your way out, man. And I'll see you guys Saturday on the live commentary. Peace.